Hey guys, AlphaStar716 here. For the past couple weeks, I've been playing Super Mario Odyssey a lot, and I mean a lot. A lot of the time when I was playing this game, I was thinking about how it compared to Breath of the Wild when I played it in March. I compared the games in categories such as gameplay. You won't hear me talk about graphics because they're both great looking with their occasional frame rate dips, and you won't hear me talk about replayability because they're both very replayable in different ways. I chose to compare the games in these 5 categories: gameplay, story, fun, creativity, and amount plus variety of content. So let's get started. Both games vary in their gameplay. Super Mario Odyssey is mostly running and jumping from place to place, collecting power moons, which is your typical platforming moveset. You have different moves you could do like triple jumps, long jumps, and dives. Cappy also adds to how many moves you can do. Speaking of Cappy, you can also possess enemies with Cappy, which can let you do even more actions. Breath of the Wild involves Link using different weapons and runes to try to take down enemies. Some enemies are immune to some forms of attack, while other enemies are incredibly affected by some attacks. For example, Bokoblins drown when pushed in water, and Lizalfos can just swim back to shore if pushed in water. In my opinion, Super Mario Odyssey's moveset's very great, but Breath of the Wild has more options and more possibilities with your weapon choices and runes. So for gameplay, I'll give this one to Breath of the Wild. Now you all can probably guess which one will win this category, but let's still see how both games fare. Super Mario Odyssey is really the same as any other Mario game. Bowser kidnaps and tries to marry Peach. Now in this game, Bowser goes around different kingdoms stealing precious materials for his wedding, which is a little different from the others, but not too much to make that much of a difference. Breath of the Wild story is one that takes place over thousands of years. Zelda manages to unlock her stealing power and contains Ganon within Hyrule Castle for 100 years. Link, defeated in battle, was taken to the Shrine of Resurrection where he laid for 100 years. Afterward, he was awakened and must defeat Ganon before Zelda's power runs out and Ganon regains his full power again. Link is reminded of these events through flashbacks, which isn't the best way of storytelling in a Zelda game. Both games aren't the best in story, but Breath of the Wild has much more detail than Mario Odyssey, so I'll also give story to Breath of the Wild. Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are also a ton of fun. Every kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey is fun, from rolling down the hills in the Sand Kingdom to wall jumping between buildings in the Metro Kingdom. Super Mario Odyssey is incredibly fun. Another thing that adds to the fun of Super Mario Odyssey is its charm. The amount of charm and wackiness in Super Mario Odyssey makes every kingdom as fun to explore as the last one. In Breath of the Wild, I had fun, just not nearly as much as in Super Mario Odyssey. Breath of the Wild is a more serious, quieter game than Super Mario Odyssey. There are fun mini-games and side quests, but to most people, Super Mario Odyssey will probably be more fun. This category goes to Super Mario Odyssey in my opinion, without any debate. Now to make it a little more fair, I'm not going to include the very crazy things that players can do in the games, because that would go easily to Breath of the Wild. When you include glitches like boarding divine beasts early, it wouldn't even be fair. I'm talking about the creativity that the developers put within the game, like level design and types of attacks. Super Mario Odyssey screams creativity. From areas like the Luncheon Kingdom, which has pink lava, to the Cascade and Winning Kingdoms where you can capture an actual T-Rex, this game is incredibly creative. Breath of the Wild is also very creative, with the different things you can do with runes, and the physics in the game like fire moving in the direction of the wind. There is a lot of creativity in Breath of the Wild too. Although, as you can probably tell by that comparison, for me at least, Super Mario Odyssey wins creativity over Breath of the Wild. Now a lot of you may be guessing what game won the category. Super Mario Odyssey has about 1,000 moons to collect and a good amount of purple coins in each kingdom. There are also a bunch of mini-games scattered throughout each kingdom. There's also a bunch of clothes you can buy at the Crazy Cap shop. Breath of the Wild has 120 shrines, 900 Korok seeds to find, a Hyrule Compendium to fill out, mini-games scattered throughout Hyrule, a bigger world than Super Mario Odyssey, a huge variety of enemies, weapons, and so on. For those of you thinking Breath of the Wild will win this category, not quite yet. It is true that Breath of the Wild has more content than Odyssey, but I also put the variety of content in the category. Breath of the Wild may have 120 shrines, but there are mainly 3 categories that you have to do over and over. Combat shrines really have nothing new, they just have different difficulties. Puzzle shrines do differ, so there is that, and shrine quests have you do different things outside of the shrine in order to access the actual shrine. The Korok seeds are a complete bore to find because there's 900 of them, and they aren't really too fun to find. The minigames in Overworld cancel out with Odysseys in my opinion, and the Hyrule Compendium also isn't too fun to complete, and it doesn't reward anything too special. Finding moons and purple coins in Super Mario Odyssey in my opinion is always a joy, aside from a few frustrating moons here and there. Aside from some obvious ones floating out in the open, there's never a recycled pattern for getting the moons. Also, the amount of enemies you capture adds to the variety. If you're a quantity person, then Breath of the Wild will win this category for you, but if you're a quality type of person, like me, then Super Mario Odyssey will be your choice. So Breath of the Wild won gameplay, story, and quantity of content, whereas Super Mario Odyssey won fun, creativity, and quality of content. Based on this, Super Mario Odyssey, in my opinion, is the winner, but it also matters on what type of gamer you are. If you're like me, someone who wants a fun, creative gaming experience with lesser content, then Super Mario Odyssey is the better choice. If you're a more hardcore gamer who wants more content and a decent story, then The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is better. Remember that this is only my opinion and my perspective, and you guys can always differ from it. What is your favorite between the two? Let me know in the comments, and remember to subscribe to AlphaStar716 for more content on Nintendo and other things gaming. See you all next time.